just a second for the mouse and the graphic.
Okay. Good morning. Sergeant Dallas Hyde and the PIO for the Woodland Police Department. I'd like to welcome you. Thank you for your time and patience and for being out here on such short notice. Chief Luis Soler will be coming into the room in just a few moments to give a statement regarding the arrests that have been made in the disappearance of Enrique Rios and Elijah Moore. I would ask that he please hold all questions until after his statement, and please keep in mind that this is a very active investigation. We are still following up on leads as we speak. Some of the things that we will not be able to get too much into detail on today would be evidence, investigative strategies, and where we're going from here. As this investigation continues, please direct all your media inquiries to my desk phone at 530-661-7868 or my email at dallas.hyde, Hyde, at cityofwoodland.org. And now I would like to ask Chief Luis Soler and Lieutenant Aaron Delau to join me at the podium.
Can you spell both of those real quick?
Soler is S-O-L-E-R and Delau is D-E-L-A-O. Chief Soler.
Morning.
Morning.
I am Luis Soler, the Chief of Police here in the City of Woodland, and with me today I have Lieutenant Aaron Delau. He's our Investigations Bureau Commander. He oversees all detectives and all investigations in the city. So obviously we're here today for the purpose of discussing the ongoing case on the disappearance of Enrique Rios and Elijah Moore, which occurred in October and November of 2016. Thanks for being here. I think Sergeant Hyde already thanked you all, but I do appreciate the fact that you guys are able to respond here in sort of short notice. I know it's been the last few crazy days with this story, a lot of information going out, a lot of information being printed and put on social media. So I think what we need to do is make sure that we put out the correct information, not saying that there's incorrect information, but I think it's very important for the citizens of Woodland and the residents of Yolo County to hear it from the police department when it comes to this investigation. So once again, thank you so much. As you know, this case started in 2016, like I said, October and November, in which Enrique Rios, age 16, a resident of Esparto, disappeared, along with Elijah Moore, who at the time was 17, a resident of Woodland. And for the last 2 years, it's been a tough 2 years for the community. It's been a tough 2 years for the city of Woodland, the citizens of Yolo County, and particularly for the Woodland Police Department. I know there's a lot of frustration out there. You know, some people saying, you know, nothing's being done, what is being done, a lot of questions. But I rest assured that during the last 2 years, we have worked very, very diligently in this case. There's a lot of things that have been going on behind the scenes. And once again, this is a very complex case. And just to show you the complexity of this case, I'm gonna just mention some of the partners we have been working with during the last 2 years. And that includes the Yolo County Sheriff's Office, the Yolo County District Attorney's Office, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, that have been instrumental in providing us with support. UNIT, which is the Yolo County Narcotics Enforcement Team, the California Highway Patrol, and like I said, they all been working together. We've been working at a lot of leads, doing a lot of investigative work, and finally this weekend we are starting to see the fruit of that investigation, the fruit of that hard work. So as you know, over the weekend there were 3 arrests made in regards to this case. Arrested were Shandell Shannon, age 21, he's a resident of Winters. Jesus Campos, age 18, he's a resident of the City of Woodland. And Jonathan J. Frost, he's age 21, and he is a resident of Knights Landing here in Yolo County as well. As far as the charges go, I can tell you that all 3 have been arrested for these charges. However, I'm going to make it clear, they have not been formally arraigned in court. That is going to happen, my understanding is today. So today, these folks are actually going to appear in court and they're going to be arraigned, meaning the District Attorney's Office will decide whether or not to formally file the charges. Once again, we made an arrest based on probable cause. District attorneys make the decision to charge based on a whole host of other things. But Mr. Campos, he's going to be arraigned today in juvenile court because at the time of the incident, he was juvenile. He's being charged with conspiracy to commit kidnapping, conspiracy to commit murder. Mr. Shannon, he's going to be arraigned today in Superior Court here. He's being charged with murder and conspiracy to commit murder. And Mr. Frost is also going to be arraigned today in Superior Court, and he is charged with murder and accessory and also kidnapping. Once again, those are the charges, those are the formal charges that we're arrested for. And once again, the District Attorney's Office is going to make a determination whether to file official charges or if any other charges apply, etc. Like the information's been out there, the warrants were sealed by the court. So that means that the probable cause affidavit and everything that we put down to get these arrest warrants, the court has deemed to be sealed, and there's a reason for that. This is a very ongoing, still active case, an ongoing case. So we cannot give you a lot of information on what that probable cause at the time was until the court decides to unseal that, or it goes forward in public courtroom, and then of course that becomes public knowledge. Right now, all the arrested folks are in custody. They're still in jail. They are at the Yolo County detention facility. As far as I know, there has been no bail or bond assessed for them. That could change when they get arraigned today. Once again, I want to emphasize, just because we made some arrests doesn't mean this case is closed. As a matter of fact, it's still a very active case. We're actively pursuing leads as we speak. We still have investigators working a host of different vectors in this investigation. So it's far from over. What does that mean? That means, once again, there's a lot of evidence that's still out there to collect. There could potentially be other arrests if we find probable cause to do so. So I caution the public not to think that it's over and done. If anything, this is a first step into a long process in which now it starts in the judicial arena, which can take a while. So what I do have to say is, I think this today starts the beginning of that conclusion of that process. I think it's very important for us to tell you that we have two main goals in this. Our first goal is obviously to bring those responsible to justice. Once again, it's been 2 years. I know some people think that's a long time. We want to do it right. We want to make sure whoever did this or is responsible for this is brought to justice, but we also want to be mindful that we have to do it, within the legal process and respecting everybody's rights that's involved. So that takes time. Number two goal is to bring closure to the families. Those of you who are parents, including myself, I just can't imagine. I cannot imagine having to deal with this. Having to deal with this for 2 years, the uncertainty of where my kids are, what happened to my kids, is anything going to be done to figure out what happened? That's excruciating, and we've been in communication with the families all the time. They are aware of what's going on. They're very appreciative of what's going on. But also they have asked for privacy, and we would like for everybody to respect the privacy up until they're ready to speak themselves. So that's another goal, is to bring closure to these families. Like I said, we are very empathetic of what they're going through. I think the community needs to move forward and needs to heal after this investigation, and as such, we are providing the resources for these families if they want to, so they can deal with this situation, what's going on. One last thing I want to mention is, once again, this case is not closed. So if there's anybody out there that has any information, anybody out there that knows something about this case, we've said it before, we said it again, please come forward, contact us. Our phone number is 530-666-2411, and that's our 24-hour dispatch tip line. And once again, we will follow any lead. We will talk to anybody that has information, wants to come forward, and we'll be more than glad to listen to you. Having said that, that's all the statements that I have for today. I will take some questions. I'm mindful some of the information in this case is still active, and I will not be able to give you information. I know there's information out there. When it comes to the actual investigation, I'm going to defer to Lieutenant Delau to answer those questions if it's feasible to answer. So, taking the questions. Yes, ma'am.
Leila Luscano, ABC 10. Have the bodies of the victims been found, retrieved?
Well, at this point, they're still missing. They're disappeared. Once again, we're looking at different avenues in this case, different vectors. So at this point, we're not ready to say if there's a body or not. We're still treating this as a missing person case, and hopefully we'll find some resolution soon.
What led you to these three?
I'm sorry, what was the question again?
What led you to these three individuals that you arrested?
Lieutenant?
Well, early in the investigation, we've been exploring a number of different avenues, streams of information, tips that have been coming in. And these three have been, they've been looked at. We've conducted a number of interviews with them during the last 19 months. So I can't say specifically what the evidence was or what the information was or where it came from, but I can tell you that the information that we were collecting during the process in the first few weeks of these disappearances led us to Mr. Shannon Campos and Mr. Frost.
So they were suspects all along? Or persons of interest?
They were persons of interest, and yes, at one point, obviously, they became official suspects.
Why was the FBI involved? Was it because of the kidnapping? Was it?
That's a great question, and the short answer is resources. We're a mid-sized police department. We don't have all the technological and forensic resources that many large cities like Sacramento, LA, San Francisco may have. So the FBI provides technical assistance and investigatory assistance to agencies all over the country as needed. So there was a great opportunity to work hand in hand with them, take advantage of their labs and their resources. So that's why we call them basically to help with resources that we don't have in the city.
Each of the suspects is facing murder charges. Are they facing, murder? They're booked on suspicion of murder. Is it 1 count, 2 counts?
That is going to be determined by the district attorneys. Once again, we have enough evidence to arrest them for those charges. When they get arraigned, they'll make the case. The prosecutors will make the case to the judge, and if they feel like there's multiple counts of whatever, that they will ask the judge to make that determination. At that point, the official charging will happen.
Do you have more information about the arraignment hearing today?
It's today. I'm not sure. Do we have information on what time? No, ma'am. Sorry.
Did you notify the families, and what was the reaction if you did? Were they
Actually,
relieved?
yes, we did, and I don't want to misspeak on this. Lieutenant Delau, actually, his investigators actually contacted them. You want to comment on the reaction?
Sure. Our lead detective, Matt Jameson, he's been spearheading this investigation from day one, and he did this weekend. He reached out with the family of Elijah Moore and made notification and let her know that arrests were made, but also reminded her that we're not stopping. Although the arrests were made, this is still a very fluid, active, and dynamic investigation, and just to let her know that we're not done yet. Obviously, she was saddened, but she did express some relief. Relief in the fact that arrests were made, and that it's possible that there may be some finality to the pain and suffering that she has and her family have been experiencing. The Yolo County Sheriff's Office were responsible for notifying the family and loved ones of Enrique Rios, so I don't have information on how that notification went.
Is there any information that you can release or address about the relationship, if any, or any kind of, was there any business or any personal relation between the victims and the suspects?
Not at this time. Not at this time. And once again, I want to, on the heels of that statement, the Woodland Police Department is actively working the Elijah Moore case because he was or is arrested of Woodland. We don't know his whereabouts. The Sheriff's Office is working the Enrique Rios case.
You said there were other arrests that were possible or that could be coming down the pipe. Why, what's the belief behind that statement?
Once again, we're not gonna get into our investigative leads or techniques or anything like that, but always in a case that's complex, and mind you, this case is complex because it not only involves the disappearance of two kids, it's multi-jurisdictional, so that adds to the complexity of the thing. So whenever you have a complex case like this, and the longer the case goes, the more complex it gets. There's always a possibility that there could be additional arrests. Maybe, and I'm not saying this as we know for a fact, there's always a window that we could, as we continue to look into clues, that could be a possibility.
You got a percentage likelihood of that being a possibility?
No, sir, I don't.
Chief, there's some information that's been made public over the last 24 hours. Could you please weigh in on that and confirm or deny whether or not Elijah Moore had allegedly been involved with this group regarding drug robbery?
Lieutenant?
Yeah, the information that's been made public was released through an affidavit that was unsealed in Yolo County Court. It was a search warrant that was conducted last year. So the information that was made available was what was available to that point, so the end of 2017. Everything in that affidavit was factual to the degree that it was the truth according to people that were cooperating with us at that point. So that was some of the information, some of the theme of this case that we were operating in.
Is that document currently sealed under, now that these arrests have been made, or are they unsealed?
Now that warrant, that was a search warrant done in 2017, that's been unsealed, because I think enough time has passed. What's currently sealed is the warrants, the arrest warrants for these three individuals.
Has anything substantial changed from that point to the arrest made a few days ago?
It depends what substantial means, but a lot has changed since 2017. And like I said, even as we speak here today, we have investigators still looking at other investigative leads. So this is a very dynamic case. So yes, things have changed.
Were these, the suspects and the victims, were they a member of a group or a gang?
That, I don't have that information available at this point. Anything else? All right, well, thanks for being here. Once again, I appreciate you guys being here in such short notice. Sergeant Hyde has provided his information. Any media requests, please direct them to him. Our commitment is to put out information as it comes available. As soon as we have more substantial information, more evidence, more leads, rest assured we'll put a press conference together and give you that update. So in the meantime, if you have any other questions, please direct them to Sergeant Hyde.
I got one last one, which is just where were the arrests made, and how did that? I'm assuming all the law enforcement groups were together. How did that?
So
happen?
the arrests were made in Yolo County, and it was a collaborative effort with many agencies. Thank you.
And just to close, I know we had a couple of media outlets show up towards the end. I just want to share with you, again, my phone number, 530-661-7868, or my email, dallas.hyde, HYDE, @cityofwoodland.org. Please forward all media requests from here on out to one of those two places.
Sergeant, can I just double check here with the charges? So Jonathan